And I kid you not, I picked my head up and I look to my left and I just see the antler. I didn't even get a chance to draw the bow back or anything yet. And I was like, okay, cool. Set my phone down, grab my release, draw my bow back, and I just pick a spot in the gap of the trees and just.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Fair Chase podcast. Appreciate you guys listening every week and writing in with questions and all the things you guys do to interact with us. Just met one of you the other day out in real life, which is kind of wild to see somebody that knows of us outside of here, in person. So that was great. And if you've been following us at all lately, we've done, we did kind of a hunting story giveaway. And so the way that it worked was we wanted to hear our listeners' hunting stories. We have a lot of great guests on, they tell a lot of good stories, but I figured at one point, hey, there's got to be, a bunch of people out there that, have great stories that we haven't heard yet. So we wanted to open it up to people. We have picked our 5 winners, and the very first one, Dylan, welcome to the podcast. You're the first winner, and excited to hear your story.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me. Long time listener of you guys. Super excited. I know you're kind of local to me over here in West Michigan. So we've been going back and forth for the past few years. I chime in on your guys' stuff. So appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, appreciate that. So you're a Michigan guy. You're Dylan Seeley. Is that right?
Yep. That's correct. Yep. Originally from northern Michigan. My wife and I moved down to like Grand Rapids area about 4 years ago, and then we just moved a little more west. But yeah, born and raised in Michigan, but not since, gosh, my dad can take me out to the woods when I was like 7, I guess. I don't know. So it's all I know. It's all I love. Yeah.
Is your dad, do your grandpa do it? Like, how is this like a generational thing? Or
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty generational. My dad is probably the more obsessed, him and myself. My uncle, my grandpa were rifle hunters. That's kind of what they did. My dad was always a bow hunter. He shot a bear with his bow, a couple of them actually. He's always been the outdoorsman, duck hunter, deer hunter. Shoot, just a couple years ago, he shot a 148 inch up near Traverse City and blew my mind. And yeah, so I've always got it from him. And yeah, it's been cool.
there are some good deer in that area.
Yeah, ever since we got the APR, gosh, I want to say 10 years ago now, it's just been 9 day different. Even when I was a kid to now, every deer I feel like I see is a lot bigger for sure.
Right. Yeah, we had them in lower for a while. We had it in, it was like Mecosta, Montcalm, Ionia, I think the line. And I hunt in a few, in all of those counties a little bit. And they had it, I think I don't remember how many years, but yeah, the hunting was dramatically different.
Yeah.
Got rid of it, and it's been just downhill. So
Yeah, I got a buddy who hunts those same counties, and he was telling me the same thing, hoping they were going to get renewed. And they didn't. So
yeah, no. Well, this is it's about your hunting story. So
yeah.
I don't know. You had written a hunting story about like a classic November 2nd hunt a couple of years. So I'll just let you hear. But you start with October 2 or November 2, I should say. Sorry. That is usually just a good start of any good hunting story because it's like prime time.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was it. Like, truth be told, it was the year of weddings for my wife and I. We had 9 weddings, so I got the wedding invite for November 2nd, and I just, truth be told, like my wife said, it wouldn't be that mad if we don't go.
Right.
She's like, no, we have to go. And I was like, all right, that's fair. So we drove. Actually, it was the east side of the state. Got up, did our thing, partied, drove home, and it was about 10 o'clock of a truck drive home. And I looked at her and I said, I feel like I got to go in the woods today. She's like, why? I was like, it's bright, sunny day, cool morning. I was like, honey, I just got to go. She's like, all right, go ahead. So got in the truck, headed up north, called my dad. He was not planning to hunt that day. He was just had a long weekend, ready to go. And I was like, hey, meet me in the woods. He's like, okay, cool. So we drove up to the spot that was an old like red pine clear cut. He cut it a few years ago. And obviously I've heard a lot of, yep. They clear cut all that. And then there was a little thicket on one side. And then just south of that was a swamp too. And really close to where he shot that big buck. And I was like, I had a couple cameras in there, nothing really, lit up, nothing too crazy. I was like, all right, we'll just go try it. And hiking with him, it was a little earlier in the day. Like I said, I got up there about 2-ish. I was like, I'm just gonna go sit down with
Michigan, you said?
Yeah, yep, northern Michigan. Yeah. Yep. And we get in there, get set up, and I've never sat this pine block. I just kind of walked in with my saddle and picked a tree that I thought looked good, followed a trail in, and I was like, "Oh, we got some sign. Let's just sit down."
May I ask you a question about that?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
because I mean, a lot of us probably hunt near red pine, those rows, right?
Yeah.
Were you on the edge? Were you up in the middle? Like, how did you figure out where to sit in there?
So we came in. I can kind of draw the perfect picture. The clear cut was kind of right in front of us. Off to the right was that thick spot. We followed basically up the edge of where the clear cut stopped, and there was just, I mean, rubs and scrapes. Everything was torn up. So I just picked really just the widest used path
Yeah.
and followed it in. And I was like, well, I don't want to sit. The clear cut ended here, and then on the other side of it was about a 200-yard block. There was a road. So I was like, I don't want to be near the road. I don't want to be near the edge because my dad usually sits on the edge. I was like, that's fine.
Yeah.
So I kind of just smack dab right in the middle of it. You know, the way they cut it was kind of unique. There was like the old lumber road where they got in that they ended up clogging with a bunch of branches and stuff. I was maybe 100 yards off of that too. So dead center of it.
So, you mentioned just going back to, because that just now you made me think of it. You had this feeling, like, what was what do you mean you had like this feeling? Like, you had to hunt. First of all, you were partying. What did partying mean? Like, were you partying?
We were partying pretty hard. So the hangover was not the feeling. The hangover was something I was trying to avoid. But I don't know. I think the last few years for me especially, and I've had this conversation with my dad too, is like there's a point in your hunting career I think where things just start to click and start to make sense. I mean, the more experiences you have in the woods, the things you see, it's just, hey, this is the perfect weather, the perfect temperature, the wind was coming this certain direction that we wanted it. And this was just scrolling through Onyx. Actually, you see, you flip your head around. I keep the wind calendar on there, but the wind was like kind of perfect to what I was thinking to sit. And I was like, I just got to go. And like, I felt it right in the gut. Like, I just got to be there.
Yeah.
You know, something's got to be present. So, but yeah, the last few years, like just something clicked with all my deer hunting, and I've been really blessed to get on some really, really cool deer. I had luck every year, which is nice. And I think that was just kind of the start of it.
Okay, so you get this feeling, you get this spot, you call your dad and tell him, hey, it's time. Was he gonna hunt anyways, or did you like talk him into it?
I kind of talked him into it. It was like, well, I don't know. I had a long week, Dylan. He hunted the day before really hard, and I was like, just meet me out there, you know.
Yeah.
And actually, I haven't been able to sit with him in a long time. Usually, we sit two totally different spots and we meet up afterwards. But I got to walk in with him, which was really cool. I mean, it's been, oh gosh, 10 years or so since I've been able to do that. So it was cool. But yeah, like I said, we were sitting in the pine block, and like about an hour and a half in, I look in my binoculars, I'm just scanning the field, seeing if anything. And I see this guy in a tree stand. I'm like, son of a, who is sitting right here? And I literally look, and it's my dad. And I was like, okay. So really, he was like 150 yards directly to the side of me here. But he's just sitting there hanging out. So I texted him. I was like, oh, I see you. We're just going back and forth or whatever, which was fun. Across the clear cut. Yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. So you're right there. But it was kind of funny because then as I tell the story to you, I just started, some blind grunting. I was like, let's just see what's out there. It's a good time of the day. So I hit a few, and he texted me, oh, I can hear you grunting. I'm like, oh yeah, that's me. Cool. And then about, I'd say another hour and a half later, I was doing a couple grunts every half hour or so just to kind of see, trying to be a little aggressive because, I get up to northern Michigan twice a month during deer season. So you am on down here. Yep. So I'm like, yep, throwing darts at the wall. And he texts me, he goes, will you quit grunting? And I did not have my grunt tube in my pocket or in my hand. And I was like, that's not me. He goes, there must be a deer coming.
This episode is brought to you by 2O Gear, innovators in technical hunting clothing. 2O is a newer company. It's based right here in Michigan. And whether you're hunting elk in the mountains or chasing antelope in the plains or traipsing through swamps after that ruddy buck, 2O has you covered with premium jackets and pants, merino wool layers, everything you could possibly need to stay comfortable in the woods. Their products are engineered for functionality and durability, ensuring you stay protected in any conditions. Plus, their camo is really effective. We're big fans. So don't take our word for it, though. Go to 2ogear.com and check it out.
And I was like, all right, we'll see. I was like, I don't hear anything. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, it's coming to the north of you. And I was like, all right, whatever. So I hit it again. And then I get another text about 20 minutes later. He goes, deer's coming. Bruh, 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 bruh. And I kid you not, I picked my head up and I look to my left and I just see the antler. I didn't even get a chance to draw the bow back or anything yet. And I was like, okay, cool. Set my phone down, grab my release, draw my bow back, and I just pick a spot in the gap of the trees and just, I always thought I counted 4 antlers because it's 3 on the side there. Counted 4 and just smacked him. And kind of freaked out for a second because I was like, I don't know how big it was. I don't know what was happening or anything. My dad texted me, goes, I just watched that whole thing. That was awesome. You smoked him. And I was like, I think I hit him good. He's like, oh no, he fell. I didn't hear. He was that post on blackout, like didn't see him. He's like, oh no, he fell like 40 yards, Dylan. And I was like, oh shit, okay. So I'm still in my saddle, like trying to relax, and I watch him get out of his tree, and he like walks over to me. He picks up the arrow and he goes, got him. Put the arrow in the thing, and so we get down, and it was cool. I walk over to the deer, and it was a beautiful 7. I sent it to you. It's got a little funky antler on it, but it was like the heaviest deer ever.
Get that funky looking. They get a funky look to them.
Yeah. No, it's not uncommon at all. And my dad actually made the comment. He's like, you already shoot the weird ones. I was like, what do you mean? Like a couple years ago, I shot a 9-point. That was pretty funky too. Yeah. And you have to shoot like a nice, clean looking 8-point or 6-point or anything like that. They're always super funky and wonky, but hey, the deer's a deer. But yeah, super, super cagey.
How far was that shot?
I'd say afterwards, I think at 22 yards is where I had it, but I think I picked the gap about the size of a football between 2 pine trees.
Right.
I've realized I don't have the skill to like stop a deer. Right. There's always been like, do you stop them? Do you not? And I just don't. I don't know why. I always think I will, but this one was on a subtle jog, so I probably should have. I did hit him a little bit back, but the broadheads I used did enough damage. He only ran like 40 yards and died, so which is pretty cool.
Did you range him at all, or he just kind of come
nope.
in the window and you're like,
just kind of came in the window? Yeah,
you're just like, all right, I know where I'm at.
Yeah, well, that's the thing where I like to hunt usually. You're 20 to 25 yards, so you're not shooting super far. I think the farthest I've ever shot on the deer is like 35 to 40, and that's even a stretch for me. I just kind of sit where I'm close, and just the barrel I had him come in on was, like I said, probably 20 to 25. So yeah, I didn't have time to range him or anything.
It's funny. I've done different things for so I shoot a single pin, and it's really a 2-pin, but I don't really ever look at even the second pin. I've tried different ways of not having to range. And so, I saw recently, I think our friend Bo Martonic had posted that podcast he had done with some guys at Hoyt that they leave it at 50 yards, their pin. And they know that if they aim 1 foot underneath wherever they want to hit, they're good from 18 to 50 or something like that, or 18 to 40, something like that. And then once you get above 40, you got to play it, but just the arc of the arrow. So I've debated trying that. I've sat with the intention of leaving it at 50 and testing that. I had shot it this summer a bit, and I haven't tried it yet. But
yeah, I mean, you guys had to sit a lot on the ground too, so that's got to be challenging,
right?
From what I see from you guys, just on the go. Yeah,
we're all we'll sit in the ground. Joe was up in a tree just with a saddle with no platform today. We're, I shot
all over the place.
A tree stand last week that, so we're all all sorts of whatever.
Yeah.
What I did last week though, and what I typically do is I keep it at 31. And I know with if my pin is at 31, I have enough variance where it's from 15 to 34. So I forgot what it is, but 12 to 34, something like that. I have a good enough range where I don't really even look at my I don't take my rangefinder out. I'm just good to go. So I shot that week, and I didn't range him at all. He was probably maybe 18 yards when I shot him. Put my 31-yard pin, and the up and down was perfect. So
yeah, I think I struggle with that the most. I had a single pin for years, and I always think of what's way too much time. If I can't stop a deer mentally, you have to do it. I don't have a time to adjust. So I have a 3-pin fixed right now, which has been awesome, and it does everything I need it to. Again, I don't shoot super far, but it's nice I like to stretch out with the bow and shoot at practice, but about as far as it goes.
Hunters, when you're gearing up in the field or at home, you need tools as tough as you are. Tecton, a family-owned company from Grand Rapids, Michigan, makes hand tools with classic design and top-notch function. Perfect for pros and weekend warriors. Their sockets, ratchets, wrenches, screwdrivers, pliers, and organization systems are built to last. Tecton's growing, and it's hiring for roles in manufacturing, engineering, software, marketing, and more. Check out Tecton.com to shop tools or apply.
So
No, to your point, like for deer hunting, I think the farthest shot I've had on a deer, like a whitetail, was 40 yards. So,
yeah,
I'm hunting in Michigan too. It's thick, and and usually I'm trying to get close. Like I got so used to the traditional stuff. Like I got used to usually sitting lower, getting closer.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've spent a lot of time the last 2 years probably just walking in, sitting on the ground. But especially over here, West Michigan, there's a lot of public that I'm not used to. I've seen Traverse City, that area. There's stuff I've been hunting since I could walk, so I know where to go. But just recently, my wife and I just moved over to a new place, and there's 5,000 acres just north of us, and I way too much for me to scout on short term. It's super crowded. The first day I walked in, I bumped into 4 different hunters. And I kid you not, a mile and a half back. I was like, this is crazy. So I ended up just walking in and sitting down at this like little ravine I used some LiDAR, and sat down and saw 2 bucks at like 35 yards, like little spikes. But I was like, oh, this is cool. So just getting more creative. Last year I had a really cool rut hunt. Again, November 2nd, November 3rd. I forgot my flashlight, walked in at daybreak, made a little bit of noise, sat down and grunted. Within 3 minutes, a buck came through at like 4 yards. So like just super cool stuff that I'm like, okay, I don't need to do the whole walk in saddle. Just go in and sit down and follow the sign. It's been cool. So
I've been doing so much more of that because you'll sit and you'll be like, he'll be in a new spot and you'll be like, I wish I was 20 yards that way. And then you're like, yeah, I got to take my saddle down, my sticks, and you can do it fast. Like, you get fast with it, but it's still not the same as just standing up and walking over there.
yeah, well, I mean, I watched, I'm sure you do too, the Latitude guys on YouTube, and they're like, hey, just if you're gonna move. So I've really made it a point this year to like, hey, if I don't feel right, just slide over.
Just get out. I know. And it's like, yeah, start seeing deer moving in the distance. And I've always had this where I'm like, oh man, they're right there. I should have sat over there. And it's like, well, go over there.
Sit down, yeah.
That's where the action, especially like in a rut. If you just see like a buck or two go through, it's like, well, there's a reason they're walking there. Probably a hot doe.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's been interesting.
You shoot this buck, your dad sees it fall, he comes, like, tell me what happened.
Yeah. So it was kind of cool. So I also like wanted to start recording a lot of more of the stuff. So pictures and videos and things, just, I don't know, the memories aspect. I started doing this a few years ago where if I shoot a deer and I mount it, I'll take a picture and then I'll write the story on the back of it and put that on the back of the mount, which has been cool.
Yeah.
So I went over and sat with my dad. I was like, hey, let's get a picture. And I sent you the video. He thought it was like a hunting show retake, which was fun, but sweet. It was cool. It was hilarious. And we ended up gutting this deer, and I've never had a drag out take so long. We were 200 yards off the road, but it was so heavy. It took him and I both probably 2 hours to drag it, because it's like those really steep ridges in the pine, and we don't have a cart. We're like just huffing it. We're just dragging it. And my dad's almost 60, and I'm not in good shape, but I'm not in bad shape. And it kicked my ass, but it was a lot of fun. And then it was getting to be that time of the day where my dad's like, all right, I either got to drive back downstate a Sunday night, or you end up staying here. So I was like, all right, let's just get out of the woods. We sat and had a couple beers on the tailgate, and it was fun. It was just super cool. One of those things that again, my dad's killed many deer. I've killed many deer, just not together in a while. So it was nice to just have that time to just sit and hang out.
It's like, you remember that. Like, you'll remember that.
Yeah. Oh, forever. Yeah. Yep. Hey, we were talking about it this year.
Go ahead. So your wife, like, you had told her, I was being like, did you like say I told you or anything? Like, what was the
I actually looked back in our conversation. It's hilarious because I knew we were coming on here. I backlogged our text, and it would buck down at 4:38 p.m.
Really?
And she goes, no shit. And I was like, yep, she's like, no shit. And I FaceTimed her, and my dad took the phone that day, and he said he called his shot. You got to let him go whenever he wants to now. And my wife and I just recently got married, like in September the year before. And it was so funny because she knew I hunted and knew how much I hunted and stuff. And I don't think it really clicked until basically she doesn't see me from October 1st
Your trophy photos are buried in your phone, and the details from your best hunts are already getting fuzzy. Trophium fixes that. It's the app built specifically for hunters and anglers to document every detail: location, weather, gear, and the full story, preserving your memories and allowing you to share them with your crew in private groups. Download Trophium today wherever you get your apps or at trophium.co.
Yeah, and we had our son on Thanksgiving last year, and she's like, "You better be." I said, "I'll never miss his birthday," but the day after, I'm going hunting.
Yeah,
So yeah,
For hunting that Friday in Michigan is like you have to do it.
yeah, you have to. That's the thing. Yep. So we're pretty much set on that. But it was funny. But my wife was like, "How do you know?" I said, "I don't know. It's just a feeling, honey." Now every time I tell her I have a feeling, which is quite often now, I usually go out in the woods, which is nice.
Yes, that's great. It's funny how you do get those feelings. So it's just so many reps of doing something. Sometimes you don't even know why. Sometimes I don't know why exactly. I'm like,
Yeah.
it was right.
Yeah, I think that's something that's learned. I just walking through the woods last week on that public, just sitting down. I'm like, there's got to be something here to just.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're close. Give it a couple weeks, and we'll probably be in it. So, yeah, that's cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting into it. I mean, we're for people who are listening, recording. It's October 20. I mean, we're not far outside the pre-rut. I mean, like,
Nope.
I've been seeing young bucks running around. This morning, we had that rain go through,
Yeah.
cold, and I was like, so I went and sat, and I had a doe come through, but all my other spots had just little bucks, and like a couple of them now working scrapes and rubs. So prior to this podcast, I was moving 2 cameras. One was dead, and like the other one just kind of was not in a good spot. So I went out and found like a couple fresh scrapes. So I threw one out, and I usually don't put a camera by a rub, but this was like a rub on a tree, like my head,
You can't not. Yeah.
and it was a scrape underneath it. So I'm like, I just don't know. I gotta.
Yeah. I had one similar to that last year. I don't know, watching a lot of YouTube stuff, those horizontal rubs. I've never seen one in wildlife until last year. And I was like, I got to put some on it. And they tore it up with a scrape underneath. So it's kind of changed my perspective on some things too, of like, this year has not been a good camera year for me, truth be told. Like, we moved, I didn't get a lot of cameras out and not a lot of big deer on them, which it is what it is. But I think for me, that's just new territory as well. But
Yeah.
so as you said,
A terrible camera year.
Yep.
I mean, it's getting better. I've started to get better bucks, but usually at this point, I've got a good number of like public land bucks, but that we got hit by EHD.
Yeah.
That's partially to do with it.
I'm thinking it is. I haven't seen anything crazy over here, obviously, where we're at. I mean, you know where we're at now. But there's some big deer in the area. Our new house we just bought and moved into, I put a camera up, I should kid you not, like 35 yards out the back of my house. And there's some like 115, 120s, like
Really?
blows my biggest deer I've ever seen in person, besides the one my dad's killed. And it blew my mind. I was like, okay, cool, I got to get in on that. But they just hadn't been on the camera more than like once or twice. So
Yeah, that's freaking awesome, man. I love
dude, it's crazy.
this time of year. It's so fun, obviously, because like you get to hunt and that's cool, but like I feel like everybody's doing it, and you're either getting like the play-by-play on like via text with your buddies, or even just like going in on like social media. You see people doing it, and like I like following along and seeing what they're up to. And like, it's just every day I wake up, I want to see my trail cameras on my phone. Like, I want to see what's been going on.
Open my Moultrie app every day first. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I was telling somebody the other day. It's like, I know this is the wrong order, but I'll wake up, I'll check my trail camera photos, then I'll read the Bible. Like it should probably be opposite, but like I'm just being honest.
Hey man, church is where you feel closest, and that's the woods. And if it gets you closer, then so be it. That's my thought.
I like that.
So
Yeah.
but it's funny. You're right though. Everybody's doing it. I haven't even met this guy in person yet, but my buddy introduced me to his friend who moved over here so we could scout and stuff together. Dude, I text this guy every day, like hunting back and forth. Like, I've never met him in person yet, But I'm like, all right, you're my boy. Like, what's going on? He's like, hey, you need help dragging them? You know, he shot a doe the other day and called me, and I was like, yeah, I got you.
Hunters, listen up. Latitude Outdoors builds gear for the mobile hunter. Their saddle hunting systems are designed to cut weight, not performance, so you can cover more ground and set up fast, wherever the hunt takes you. From dense hardwoods to open ridges, their mobile-focused gear keeps you efficient and adaptable. Check out their full range at latitudeoutdoors.com.
Could be a serial killer, but probably not. We'll figure it out.
Dude, your hunting friendships are very, it's just very funny.
Yeah.
I've developed a lot of those, and like you end up messaging weird random people at random,
Yep.
100%.
Yeah.
You don't regularly text a person you've never met at 7 a.m. just at con or whatever, but it's you're like, hey, what are you seeing,
Yeah. Hey, what's going on over there? Yeah, no, it's funny.
But just thinking back, and we'll wrap this up. Looking back on that hunt, what you saw me post this a couple weeks ago. What about this story made you like want to reach out? Like, what sticks out? What makes it a great hunting story to you?
It was kind of funny the timing that you posted that. My wife and I just moved to the new house, and I just hung that deer up like that morning.
Yeah.
So it was cool. It was one of the last things we moved from our old house, and one of the first things I wanted to put up in our new house. And I've been successful. I have a few mounts put up, but that was like the one. And then I opened my phone and saw that. So it was super cool. And I was like, a lot of them stick out, but that one was like, I think you said, the biggest memory, the emotional attachment. Like being there with my dad has been really cool. Obviously, everybody gets older, life happens, and it was just him and I still talk about it to this day. Like randomly throughout the year. My dad and I, we talk, but it's like deer hunting and golf. Yeah, usually those are seasonal, and then once golf is done, it's all hunting, and then once hunting's done, man, I can't wait till spring to golf. Yeah. So it's like that weird rotation, but that deer hunt comes up all year long, whether it's deer hunting, golf, what's going on in your day, everything. That just gets brought up all the time, and that's a really good one to me that sticks close. And that's kind of why I started writing the stories on the pictures on the back of my deer, just because you don't want to forget those. And when my son, who's 10 months old, starts hunting and starts asking about these stories, we'll have those things just the same to say that. So
I mean, journaling your stuff, tracking kills, catches, is huge and like so easy. I'll look on my wall and it's like you start to forget the date and the time, and if you don't write it down, and you're like, they kind of run together. And now I'm just thinking I've got a deer that I need to. I've got an app that I've been using to track stuff, and I've got to enter one in that I've forgotten. I had this deer years ago, small buck, but like it was the same type of deal, a great story, great people. Yeah. Like, you got to remember. So I love that you do that. And you're to your point, like the people you do it with is like that makes it.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. It's, I mean, not the related story, but I think 3 years ago, my wife and my best friend, I got them into hunting. Like both of them, I basically committed my full year to like, hey, let's go. Yeah. My wife shot her first deer with a bow. We both cried like a baby. It was the coolest thing ever. I was so proud of her. And then my best friend, I took him, and he shot his first deer with me out in the middle of the woods, and I helped to teach him how to gut it and drag it and clean it and all that fun stuff. And
both cry like a baby for that one too, or
no, not that one as much, because I'll be honest, he shot it at Texas hard shocks. So I was actually trying not to throw up more than anything. Yeah. Because it wasn't good, but we still laugh about it. And I got a picture of him carrying his deer out like a duffel bag because it was a little tiny. But it's those memories and those things that are really cool. And one of the best years of my life hunting, and I didn't even get a deer that year. So it was cool.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, Dylan, thank you for coming on. Thanks for Bear Chase podcast and sharing your story, and congrats on winning. You won 2-0 gear, so you're going to get a vest coming here soon, and
awesome.
Warm in those cold October, November sits. So
my vacation's coming. I got 10 days off, so I'm ready to go. So cool. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Check us out next week. We'll have another episode. So check it out. We'll see you soon.